Hi, it's Ruth.
Hey, Ruth, how are you? Can you hear me okay?
And is this Ray?
Yeah,
How are you? Nice to meet you.
nice to meet you too. Uh, just to let you know, Brenda's coming in too, right? I should
Yeah.
probably make sure that I make you guys co-hosts of this event so you can share your screen,
That's
right?
good.
Can you see me?
We
Yes,
can.
I can.
I will turn the camera on too. Hello.
And I am making both of you co-hosts right now so you can share your screens and all.
Fantastic.
You both look and sound good.
Thank
To start out, I'm gonna have a screen set up at the beginning, just kind of a welcome screen, and then I'll do like a little opening. You know, I have a little script that I have to read, and you know, then I'll hand off to you guys. Which one of you is going first, if you don't mind me asking?
I am, but we were just going to have Brenda to keep it on her screen, and so we're not going to switch back and forth.
Okay.
Do you see my screen?
Yes, I do. I see. It says, yeah, I see a blue screen that says "Tools to the Bridge."
That's it.
Brenda,
Tools to
Brenda,
Bridge,
can you do a refresh quick on your PowerPoint and your Google Slides?
So I just want to be clear. I prefer Brenda Bender, right?
Yes.
And Ruth Ziolkowski or Ziolkowski.
You were just worried about pronouncing that name, weren't you? You can.
Well, but no, my last name, everyone gets it wrong, so I understand. So I go through this all the time. So
Yeah, I just say Ziolkowski, but however you say it, it's going to be fine. I just
Ziolkowski.
yeah, that's what I say. So I've been told by two gentlemen who are Polish that I say it wrong. So
Oh, same thing with mine. Mine is I pronounce it. And I've been so this way. I pronounce it the way it was given to me, and that was Bendici. But I keep getting people tell me it's supposed to be Benedici or something like that. I'm like,
I know I'm supposed to be Ziolkowski.
right?
Yeah.
I'm like, look, this is what it was given to me. It's, you know, I always like to tell people it's a nice American name, you know, like Ben Franklin, Washington, D.C., Ben D.C. Can't get any simpler than that.
Exactly. Awesome. Brenda, let me see, go back.
Where you want?
I just keep going. I just want to see. I made changes quick, obviously.
You did make some changes.
I did. So just to kind of make it flow, when I practice, I can't stand but not to tweak it. But I also updated the title screen to match what I saw on the listing. So they just knew that they're in the right place. So that's why I think you're going to have to probably refresh. You'll have to refresh it in your browser. So escape out, refresh.
Let me escape here a sec.
There you go. Yeah, and just do a refresh. There we go. Fantastico. And I'm back, Brenda, if something happens, I'm ready to go to back you up if needed. So
okay, good.
I mean, I'll do it in my way, different than your way, but and Ray, is there a way, like while people are coming, I don't think they'll have a lot of time. Is it, you're just not going to open the room till right before, correct?
I think we'll start getting, I think they're sent in automatically, I think at the 5-minute mark.
Okay.
So just be prepared that, you know, which is probably in about 5 minutes now. No, yeah, it's about 7 minutes.
I was going to put a question in the chat box if people see it. So, but I think if I put it in now, they won't see it. If they
well, you can put it, I think you could put something in there. I think it'll be okay. I mean, you may want to go refresh it once people kind of get in.
Yeah, exactly. But, so yeah, I could do that. Is there a way to do the whole blurring background in Zoom? I forgot to ask that in our setup.
Yeah, actually, if you want to go to Start Video, down on that bottom left-hand corner, if you hit the up arrow, you'll see choose virtual background. And you can upload one or pick a background that's there or something like that. I should also, in fairness, let you know too that everything, all these transcripts are being recorded.
Right.
So we're actually recording this session right now, but the transcripts are too. So I'm just saying, you know, there's a record, so this may not be the time to, you know, commit, you know, confess to any crimes that you may have committed.
Gotcha.
Anything like that. So
then Ray, we'll receive this video.
It'll be on the website. I think it's available. I'm not sure about you receiving it, but I think it'll be there.
Okay.
Can I ask you to stop sharing so I can put up the screen that I need to share, if that's okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Do you see my screen right now? I just want to check.
Yep.
Yes.
Do you see this whole slide deck or just the one slide?
I see the 4 slides.
You do see the 4 slides. Okay, then I need to figure out how to
I think,
get this
oh
to
yeah,
full
where's your word present?
screen.
Where did it go? That's weird. Maybe refresh your, I've never seen where that little toolbar at top didn't show up. You don't have a menu either.
I don't know what's going on here. Shoot. Hang on, I'm going to stop sharing for a second and figure out what I did wrong here. Hold on. You have the same thing, don't you? You see the same thing, just the one in the side, right?
Yes, we do. Sorry.
No, it's not your fault. I
I
did
know.
something. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, and I apologize.
That's okay.
Well, worst case scenario, this is what people see, and
Pretty,
I will sort it in between sessions. So
right. And it's big enough that you still kind of focus on the main screen and you see the text that you need to see. So
right.
sometimes it's nice for people to know where you're going. And Brenda, for my slides, just I'll, kind of next, but it'll go pretty fast. So, okay. You're still with us, Brenda?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep. Oh, good. We have some people here. Good morning, Damien and Charity. Welcome.
Good morning.
Mildred, yay.
Good morning.
Ellie and Elena. I feel like Romper Room. Does anyone know Romper Room? Good morning.
Good morning.
Everyone. Here's everybody. How exciting. While we're all waiting, I put a message in the chat box. We'd love to hear from you and get your thinking. I know you've already been thinking since you had your keynote. So I jumped into the end of it. It sounded inspirational. Get to virtually see many of you. Love how nice everyone is. That's so awesome. It's good to be kind to each other during all of this. Yay, Nicole. Bronx is in the room. PS 36. And MS 337. Welcome. I have just a quick question, if people wouldn't mind thinking about your students. What's a concern you have when it comes to reading or writing this year? Statton's in the house. Welcome.
Just to let everybody know, we're about a minute from starting. So officially starting, and we'll get rolling. Keep this on time, right? Everyone's got lots of stuff going on today.
Thank you to those who have responded already. Mm.
All right, it's 10:15. Let's get going here. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for attending today's New York City Department of Education's Beyond Access Forum. This event is brought to you by the DOE Division of Specialized Instruction and Student Support and the Office of Digital Inclusion and the New York City School Library System. A special thank you to all our partners today. Be sure to visit their booths throughout the day. I'd like to take a moment to remind everyone to log into the Conference Hub using the link sent in your confirmation email. Once you're logged in, you can visit a partner booth and to learn about their offerings and book a meeting or live chat with them. You can network with all of today's attendees via the registrant directory and chat features. You can gain access to all of the conference resources in the resource section. And you can enter our Passport to Prizes. And throughout the Conference Hub, you will find several buttons to enter yourself into our Passport to Prizes. Each time you find a button and fill out the form, you will earn one entry into the raffle. All entries are eligible for a series of prize drawings, only one prize per participant. We will announce winners via email at the end of the conference. Before we begin, I'd like to cover a few quick housekeeping items. If you have any questions for the presenters during the sessions, please submit them through the Zoom chat feature, which you've already started doing. You have the option to turn on closed captioning by clicking show subtitle within your Zoom console. If you go on social media, please be sure to use the conference hashtag NYC Schools Inclusion in your social media posts. And for CTLE credit, please visit https://diit.nyc/forum eval. I'll drop this into the chat later at the end so everyone can follow that link, make it a little easier for everyone. All right. All right. With no further ado, I'd like to welcome everyone today and hand it over to Brenda Bender and Ruth Ziolkowski.
Fantastic. Thank you, Ray. And welcome, everyone. My name is Ruth Ziolkowski. I'm president of the company, and Brenda's in the process of sharing her screen with us. So Brenda, I'll let you introduce yourself when you start to present. We're here to talk about tools to bridge that learning gap. And thank you to everybody who wrote in some of their concerns for this year. And I think we'll hit a lot of these, so I'm glad you are joining us today. Things like motivation is really hard, and independence. I love how a lot of you connected those two, because being independent is motivating, and knowing that you can is really important. And then once you have that, building those habits, building strategy, and a lot of questions about assessment and how to measure reading and how to do this all remote. And then some kind of important details, like how do my students fill out their PDFs and how do they have access to every book in the library? So, so that's what we're going to cover. So go ahead, Brenda, and switch our screen.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Hi, it's Brenda. Okay. You can see my screen, Ruth?
Yep, we're ready to go.
Okay, here we go.
So your concerns are really valid, and I think somebody mentioned this as well. This came from a study in 2016 where 5 universities, Texas A&M, Johns Hopkins, Duke, University of Wisconsin, looked at students across 10 states and the benchmark data from NWEA. And they found, even in 2016, that the average 5th grade classroom spans 7 grade levels. And their expectation with this pandemic is that gap is going to grow even bigger. So think about some of our students at risk might fall further behind, and some of our more high achievers who can learn on their own might go further ahead. So thinking about if you were this 5th grade teacher and you had all these students with such a wide variety in your classroom, just really quick chat, you guys are super fast today. What are some of the strategies you would use to approach this huge gap of skills, or a wide range of skills, and some with some pretty significant gaps? So chat away. Small group instruction, exactly. Thanks, Dahlia. Couple more. I'd love everyone to participate. Breakout rooms, yep. the new small group, we have breakout rooms virtually. How about modifying? Are you guys thinking about modifying multiple presentation of the materials? Awesome. We've got some UDL folks here. Guided reading, any modifications, scaffolds, testing verbally. So some accommodations, some scaffolds, access to level text. So I want to point out a couple of these small groups. Awesome. All these are really, really important strategies. Some of them take more time than others. So small group means I have to prepare for lots of different people, students, using materials at different levels as like doable now. There's a lot of materials out there, but still as a teacher, I have to manage a lot. And so I want to talk to you about a different approach. Go ahead, Brenda. And we're today going to really, in dealing with this gap, we kind of have 2 approaches, and they both need to be done. So today we're going to talk about really focusing on a strength-based approach. It doesn't mean we don't address weaknesses. A lot of our interventions are all about that. But in this pandemic, more than ever, we have students who are far behind, and we don't want to lose another grade level. So we're going to talk about using strengths to access grade level and really increase that rigor and make your life easier, because if everyone's kind of at grade level, it makes your life simpler. So go ahead, Brenda. So that's what we're going to talk about. And accommodations, as we know, are all about getting to grade level. Go ahead. So the problem with accommodations is looking at your students, especially students who have what I call more hidden disabilities. A lot of the reading disabilities are hidden, whether they have dyslexia or speech and language issues. Oftentimes we can't tell looking at students. And so we really need a more data-driven approach to this. And the research supports us on that. Without a diagnostic process, teachers are no better than chance at determining whether a student needs a reading accommodations. Now this comes, Helwig and Tyndall are from the special ed world. The same kind of data is seen for our ELL students. So what's interesting is we might as well flip a coin. So we wanted to support you in that and help you with that. And it's really going to be a data-driven way to really know which students would benefit from reading accommodations and get to grade level. And our tool to do that is called UPAR. UPAR is can be group administered. It can be done in a traditional setting with 20 students in a room, or it can be done easily remotely. This could be set up a Google assignment, and it'll take your students about 30 minutes, and they'll be all done. And you could even watch virtually as they're doing it. So what is UPAR? UPAR is a way to look at how do I comprehend best. We're going to help the student, the parent, the teachers, the administrators all know for each student, what is their reading profile and how do they comprehend best? Is it when they read independently? Is it when they read with a human audio or a human reader? Or is it when the computer reads it with that kind of computer-y voice? So with UPAR, I'm just going to run you through really fast what the student will experience. You would send them a link, they sign in, and they are going to go through 3 conditions, those 3 conditions of silent read, human audio, and text to speech. They're going to choose a passage. read in those different conditions, and then answer some comprehension questions, which are going to be main idea, inference, and vocabulary. And you're going to get data like this. So let's walk through this data really fast. You see 4 columns at the top, the grade level, and then our 3 conditions: silent or independent reading, human audio, which simulates a human reader, or text reader, which is that computer. Going down the grade level column, there's a silhouette at the number 8. That tells me this is an 8th grader. And there's a book at the number 5. And that means this 8th grader is reading at a 5th grade level. And then we have the color coding. Green is upper quartile, and that's what we really talk about as being more independent. Yellow, we consider instructional, and red is frustration. So if we're going for independence and accommodations, we want to get to grade level. So if you look at this data, and look at that 8th grade, we can see for this student, both a human audio and a text reader would make them independent at grade level. This is really important because most of the time we don't know. We know it might help, but we don't know how much it helps. For this particular student, this read aloud accommodation makes 3 grade levels difference. That's huge. And if you think about it, if I have a struggling 5th grader, I'm not thinking they can do 8th grade level material, because the only data I've been given so far is that they are reading at a 5th grade level. And so it doesn't make normal kind of sense. Like our brains just don't think about that they can comprehend at grade level. Go ahead, Brenda. And for you as instructors in those classrooms, remember that big span. It's like, wow, that's a lot. But we think we can simplify that for you. When you have this data on your students, you're going to actually find some students can comprehend above their grade level. The majority of even these are struggling readers, the majority of your struggling readers who read independently below will be able to get to grade level. And then you'll have some that do a little bit better. And then you'll have some that it just doesn't work for at this time, where we need to either invest in more training or we need to look for alternatives. And so what we're finding is having this data, it really helps you and your teachers make better decisions about their accommodations. So I'm just going to do a quick little sample. Kaylee, 3rd grade, a triplet, has been in intervention. We know these teachers, they've been intensifying their intervention, doing really high quality work, yet still in 3rd grade. She's in urgent intervention. And because we like to give materials at or below reading level, they're telling the teachers to give Kaylee all this pre-kindergarten and kindergarten level material. So think about that. Kaylee's coming to school embarrassed that she can't read chapter books like her friends, or even her other 2 twin sisters. But then we looked at her UPAR data, and oh my goodness, look what we found out on this day. Kaylee could comprehend when a human read to her at a 5th grade level. That's huge. So that's a 5 grade level difference for Kaylee. So she was one of those who didn't even just get to grade level. She went above grade level. Now her text reader wasn't as good because she's never been exposed to a text reader, but these teachers knew that she had this potential, and they started her on a text reader called Snap and Read, which Brenda's going to show you. And look what happened between November and April. Look how her data changed. First of all, that text reader column, look at, she caught right up. And because Kaylee knew that she could comprehend above her grade level, she started choosing books at the 5th, 6th, 7th grade level. And look at how all her data went up. And so what we talk about is this data isn't only important for the teachers, but it's important to the students, because all Kaylee knew about herself, she thought she was dumb. She really thought she was dumb. She was ready to be put in a self-contained special education class because they were running out of ideas for her. And no one really believed in the power of accommodations because she was struggling so much. But UPAR made it so obvious that accommodations would work. So this is a little video. We recommend showing that UPAR data and having what we call data talks, and this is how they look.
I immediately just, gosh, I did better with the human auto, better than the silent read, which I'm really kind of confused on how I did that, but.
So we changed students. I love this video. We changed students from I can't read to I can. I've had students who look at their data, have asked to look at it 5 days in a row. We've had students say, you told me I was smart, I never believed you. So while this data is really important to our teachers and will make them more efficient by really being confident and giving that grade level access, it also helps our students who are feeling unmotivated, who are scared because everything else seems to not be working for them. And they're scared. So they don't know that given a reading material, they can do this. And so UPAR's really that kind of like priceless commercial of how do I change that? And so once we change their reader attitude and your teacher's reader attitude, we need to now give them those tools that will let them reach their infinite potential. And I'm going to turn it over to Brenda, who's going to show you Snap and Read and Co-Writer, which are the two tools that we have seen make the biggest difference for students with reading and writing challenges.
Well, thanks, Ruth. It's going to be so exciting to get into this. I really enjoy Snap and Read because it helps so many students. So what I want to do is I want to share a couple things with you. First, let me get here. I want to make sure that everybody knows that we work with a lot of learning management systems. So some of you have a Google Classroom, some of you have Canvas, some of you have Schoology. So what I want to do is put you in the shoes of a student who receives an assignment from a teacher. So this is Mrs. Bender, okay? And we're gonna learn about Martin Luther King. So I have 2 websites and a PDF for students to read. So I'm going to click on my website here, all right? So this is a website of Martin Luther King, and I wanna be able to read this. I wanna be independent like Kaylee. So I am showing the Chrome extensions, which is right up here on the right-hand corner, and you'll see Snap and Read. I click on it, I sign in with my own account, and I turn it on. And what you'll see is a very simple toolbar over here to support me. And we are just gonna let this read to us. So I'm gonna just click on the speaker. When it turns blue, it'll start reading for me anywhere on the page.
Martin Luther King Jr. was a scholar and minister who led the civil rights movement.
Of course, you can go up to options, change your voice and the pitch and how fast you want it to do. But as we're reading, all right, I may come across some vocabulary that I may struggle with. I mean, I can right click and look at some of the vocabulary through Google, but what we have is a tool called the Dynamic Text Leveler. And so if I highlight just one word like assassination, maybe I don't know that. Well, what the Dynamic Text Leveler does, the third tool right here, will put it in a more understanding level for the student. So when they click on the speaker and read it, it will read, it'll be murder instead of assassination. And I can click back and forth and see both vocabulary words to support my efforts there. That's just one word at a time, but if I wanted to, I could do the whole entire page and it'll help me with that to help students. So where it says person who uses action and strong words is an activist, all right? So I have that support. So that is the Dynamic Text Leveler. I wanted to make sure that you are aware of all the different types of files that students come across. This is an accessible text because I can highlight the text. I'm going to take you to this here, a Google Doc, but it has a picture of Martin Luther King and it has text here, but I can't highlight that text. It's inaccessible. So what we need to do is give tools to students so that whatever file they're coming across, they can get access to that text. So I have on my toolbar a screenshot reader. So if I click on that, grab the text that I wanted to turn into a readable text for me, it will do it automatically.
I have a dream that my 4 children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character.
So I want you to remember that, okay? So that's why the speaker in this screenshot reader is so important to have. So now if I come back to this website, I also want to start gathering key information to help my students. So down here in the right-hand corner, you're going to see this little arrow. I'm going to open this up. And a lot of people think this is like, open the garage. Let's help the students. So what are we learning today? Well, we're learning about Martin Luther King. So I'm going to click on this. And now all I'm going to do is highlight this information and click on capture my text on my toolbar, and it'll bring it over into my guided support. So I, as a student, should start gathering information, and I think is really important. So I'm going to gather Martin Luther King was a Baptist minister and civil rights activist. I think that's important. Click on that. He won the Nobel Prize in 1964. I think that's important as well. And I can get information anywhere. So remember, my teacher asked me to read a PDF. Well, here's the PDF. Notice that Snap and Read followed me. I have, if I can highlight the text, I can use my speaker. If I can't highlight the text, I use the screenshot reader. So I can have this read to me as well. But I think I'm going to gather information too from this PDF. Boom, he was born in Georgia in 1929. Click on that. Notice what's happening is it's capturing my sources. If I click over here to the right, you're going to see my sources. That is key, that if I go offline or if I want to come back to that and I don't know the websites, I just click on the websites and it'll take me directly there. But we work with a lot of struggling students. They have no idea what kind of information to gather. So up here in our little template, these three little dots where it says more actions, you're going to see a lot of evidence-based strategies to help your students and guide them to what you want to do as a teacher. Whether you want to do a 3-paragraph essay, cause and effect. I like to just show a simple KWL. What I know, what I want to know, what I learned. So I have the ability to take these things and just drag them down to where I think I put it. And there we go. I learned today he was a Baptist minister. Notice also that things are written in quotes. So we want to help students not plagiarize. So they have the ability to put things in their own words. I can enter text and I can say he won the Nobel Peace Prize. And that's in my own words, and I can click on that and indent it, and there we go. So as I'm doing this, I have the ability to take this information and start putting it into a paper for me. So if I go back into this Word doc, I can take this information I gathered and just bring it into my Word doc. Now, please know, I'm working in a Google Doc, but I can do this into anything that I can put a cursor into, like Penzu, email, any other application, you will be able to take the information into it. So basically, students hate to rewrite, so all they have to do is drag and drop. Boom. That's all I'm doing. And if I put things in my own words, I can bring that over myself. And of course, I can also bring my resources too. Real simple. We want to be able to make this so simple that students can follow the reading supports and then the writing supports as well. There is ELL involved in here. I don't have a lot of time to show that, but if you'd like to see that, please come to my booth and I'll show that a little later. All right, so that is Snap and Read quickly in a nutshell. You want to add anything to it, Ruth?
Nope, but we're starting to talk about on the line habits, but you can do things like as you're in your virtual rooms, just like put up little signs. Remember, you can use Snap and Read to help you with this assignment. So we'll talk more about that at the end.
Okay. So now if you were working with struggling readers, they're probably struggling writers as well. So besides Snap and Read, we also have oh, you know what? I forgot to show something. Let's go back to the PDF. Hold on a second. The PDF right here. So not only can I read this PDF, I also have the ability to annotate. That was one of the things that a lot of people wanted to learn about. So you can see here, I have my Snap and Read toolbar. It's attached to my PDF. I can read it as long as I can highlight the words or use the text screen reader. But over here to the left is my annotation tools. So I have the ability to enter text. I can make sure I put my name in here because, you know, if I don't remember, there it is, okay? And so there's my name. I can come down here. Where was he born? So not only do I have my text box, I have a highlight tool as well. And I can, right now I'm using green, so he was born in Georgia, so I can highlight that information. And if I need to do any line-to-line drawing or underline anything, I can do that with my third tool. Save my information, and it'll take it to my drive, and I can save all my annotations if I'm not ready as a student. And when I am ready, it can be sent back to the teacher in the Google Classroom. So that's awesome. A lot of people are excited about that. All right, so if they're struggling readers, then they're probably struggling writers as well. So that's where co-writer comes in. I'm gonna turn my snap and read off, and co-writer is right next to it. So I'm gonna click on co-writer. Oh my goodness, look what you found. Oh, we have a new support there. So if you don't know co-writer, co-writer is based on linguistics and grammar of each individual root word, so that when students are trying to write, it will come up grammatically correct. So today I'm just going to write a simple sentence so you can understand it. I'm going to say today, and you will see I'm spelling phonetically. You think of all those students who spell phonetically, have dyslexia, dysgraphia, leave out vowels. They're going to be able to listen to the words.
Today.
Click on it with your mouse or use the numbers that coincide with it on your keyboard. So I'm going to click on it.
Today.
Today, we, and you can see is grammatically thinking about what I want to write already. So the word is there before I even started. So I'm going to hit number 5. Today, we are. And I want to say learning. And I spell learning R-L-R-N. And that's how I spell learning because I'm doing it phonetically. So if they're that bad a speller, they're going to listen to
learning.
It. Learning. Okay.
Learning.
Okay, there's about, and I'm going to hit 4. I'm going to say
about.
Technology. So I'm going to T-E-K-N-O, and now you can see there's technology. Boom.
Technology.
There we go.
Today we are learning about technology.
So I have the ability to write with co-writer, but I also have the ability to speak for those students who do better with speech to text to get their words out. So I can click on the microphone and now I can speak. Who is this man? Question mark. And it
Who is this
out,
man?
and it repeats it for me. So if I can hear if there's any mistakes, it's there for me. But today, what we're doing is we are learning about Martin Luther King. The key is to getting vocabulary to students in the classroom about what the teacher is teaching about right then and there. That is awesome. We want people to have access to that vocabulary. How do we get there? Well, if we go down to this little book, I can click on here.
George W. Carver.
And I can search for a topic. So I can write Martin Luther King. And if I can't write Martin Luther King, I can also say it with the microphone. Martin Luther King Jr.
Martin Luther King Jr.
And so now it's going to go out and get all the vocabulary about Martin Luther King. So now when I come over here, I can write and I will say his name. I'm going to say his name, it's coming up,
name
is, and you're going to see that all the words are starting to come out about Martin Luther King. Okay, there he is.
Martin Luther King.
Boom, there we go.
His name is Martin Luther King.
But what we've added to co-writer is not all the time students need to have this window there. There's a couple things that you can do. You can just take this and drag it down and you'll have the bar across the bottom so that they can work that way. That's one way to do it. I just drag it up again. But if I go to my options of Snap and Read, if I go there now, there's a couple things that I can do. I want to make sure that you know I'm using the Open Dyslexia Font to help those students with dyslexia and dysgraphia. That is key to helping those students. But down here in the bottom left-hand corner, I have as needed. And what I can do is I can bring the box when I need it for writing. So if I go back to my sample here, now you're going to just see co-writer, okay? The little window there. And I can start writing. He
Q,
led
he,
the, and I'm not sure, I want to write civil rights movement, but I don't know how to write civil rights movement. So I'm gonna start writing SIV, and I'll bring co-writer up. Oh, there it is, Civil Rights Act. Okay, civil, there it is. Look how I started writing civil rights, boom, and it comes over, boom.
civil rights movement,
And I can click on that and bring it up when I want it.
he led the civil rights movement.
Isn't that awesome? Okay. So the same thing is if I go back to this template and I want to be able to enter text, come down here, here's some text, get my text box, and co-writer is going to follow me there. So if I needed to help, okay, I can start saying there should
There,
be no, and
No.
I want to write discrimination. Okay, I don't know discrimination. So you're starting to see this, look at it came up, because what co-writer does, it also recognizes the vocabulary on the PDF and brings it in automatically into that as well. So the two tools work so well together. All right, so I have that. And then there's also ESL support in co-writer as well. That will help your Spanish students. If you want to see that, come to my booth and I'll show that information to you too. Any questions? Ruth, you got anything to say?
Brenda, could you put co-writer into as needed? Just, oh, you did that. So one of the questions was like, how do we remind the students? So just having that little thought bubble is a good reminder, or it could be their little speech to text button. I think all of those are really nice little reminders to say, hey, I'm here when you need me. So I love that people are asking that. And part of it, again, is us reminding them as well.
Yeah, so I have that little box to bring up, but if I go up to options again, all right, you're also going to see as needed for speech to text. So if I go back to my writing thing, now I got the little microphone. So now I can click on here. He was an amazing man, period.
he was an amazing man.
And that is it. It's very awesome that they need to be able to hear what they just said as well. So not only am I going to be able to have co-writer to help me with my writing, but I can have support in speech to text when I need it, no matter where I go. Doesn't have to be in a Google Doc. It could be anywhere. As long as I put a cursor anywhere, co-writer is going to follow me. So think of all the different platforms that your students are using out there. Okay, don't just think of Google Land all the time. All right, so go ahead.
Yeah.
So in order for students to use this extension, should they also have the extension on their own computer? Because I don't know, since they're using different devices, if they have this extension. What can be done in that case?
Okay, that's a great question. Co-writer, it follows Universal Design for Learning, so it pretty much works anywhere you go on pretty much any device. So if a student has an account, each student will have their account. They're either going to sign in with their Google email address or their username and password. And so they would have to download the application for their device. So if they're working on a Chromebook or a PC or a Mac, I'm working on a Mac, but I'm working in the Chrome browser, I'm going to go get the Chrome extension, sign in. Both programs work beautifully in the iPad, iOS devices. So they would download co-writer, snap and read for the iOS device, sign in with their same account. It lets them follow anywhere they go on pretty much any device, as long as they sign in with their accounts and using the platform for their device.
Yes, I think that's important. So they can really, like I travel and sometimes they make me use a different computer. I just sign in as Ruth and there they are for me. So we make that very simple, and we know students might be sharing devices and that type of thing. So, hey Brenda, there is a question about the state guidelines for providing test read aloud or using word prediction and criteria. So at some point, I think we're going to show you some of the data, but one of the things we know is even to get to that point, you need to show that students are using these tools and that they're available to them and that they've been using them. So Brenda's going to show you how would you know whether a student was using text-to-speech? How would you gather your data and provide that to your state to justify that they can do that? And again, this is another really huge difference between some of the free and built-in. Plus, in today's virtual world, how do you know? If you have a student with a reading accommodation or a writing accommodation and you're not there with them, you have no way to show evidence. So Brenda, could you show data quick?
You see my screen, the reports?
Yep.
Okay. So this is awesome. This is where the data that's being collected for each student. And so here's Nora, all right? So if I look at Nora, for co-writer, we see how many words she's writing and how long she's using it. But what's important is to know what type of words is she using. We look at academic, transition, and important words. So if I look at these graphs, she's not doing too well, okay? And I really want to focus on transition. And so if we look at transition words, because there's more students that have to write transitional words and phrases on the state testing, just like Ruth said. So if I look at Nora here, she's only wrote 3 words with transition words. You can see still, because, and after, out of 229. So as a teacher, I really need to focus on this and get her exposed to these other words, so I can make a word wall or anything like that. But to help you when you have to go into a meeting or anything based on Nora, you can download her information, get a PDF, and take it into the room. It's opening. Oh, there, it's in my other screen. I don't know if you can see it. Can you
Yep,
see
we got it, Brenda. Yep.
All right, so there it is. You can take that into your meeting, but you can also see if the students are working or not. If there's a 0 here, then there's questions. Why isn't the student using? Is the teacher helping and reminding the student? So that's great information for you.
And let's go back to Kaylee's data. Before she actually was using Snap and Read, her data wasn't showing that she comprehended as well with text-to-speech. So it's really urgent that you allow your students and build their skill, especially students with Kaylee who did better with a human reader, not with a text reader. And you could see she caught up, but if she had never had that access, she wouldn't have performed as well on her state tests. So, and Mary Chris, thank you. She gave you guys a link on some of the accommodations, but we know that every state is asking to show that these, that your tools are being used. And again, we wouldn't, students have a lot of anxiety when it comes to tests. So you don't want to have them have something that starts, that they're starting right at the day of the test. So at what grade level do you start using these programs? Are first graders too young to navigate? Nope. We have a lot of people, like if you think about co-writer, we have kids starting as soon as kindergarten. It's like having a spelling tutor right with you for every word you want to write. And Snap and Read, again, we have, because the rigor is so high, we have, think about it, your students can always comprehend, or not always, typically comprehend a higher level. So they might be reading independently, like, simple books, but they might want to grab Harry Potter out of the library and listen to that because their siblings listening to that. So I know we had a librarian here interested in access to all books. We are the only text reader that works with Sora and Libby and some of the Overdrive books. We are able to make our stuff, make Snap and Read work with those.
So Ruth, I get the questions like, how do I learn this? There's so much to learn. Well, there isn't a lot to learn, but what you'll see is there's the Learning Academy on our website that will take your students, teachers, and parents through the step-by-step instruction by how-to videos, quick cards, that are available. Since the pandemic started back in March, this has been a valuable tool for everybody. So definitely know about the Learning Academy. And also you want to make sure that your students who are the text experts on these programs share out to not only their peers, but their teachers as well, right, Ruth?
Yeah, so one of the things through this pandemic, everyone's like, I don't have time to learn anything new. And these are really tools by students. So our Student Learning Academy allows you to, again, make a Google assignment. All right, everyone, I want you to do, the beginning level of Snap and Read, or you could choose 5 students. This story is about Caden. He's an elementary student, and he was in the principal's office a lot. And one day mom got a call home, which was very typical, but this was an atypical conversation because they said they noticed that when Caden was using Snap and Read and using his tools, he wasn't as in trouble and he was able to focus and stay in the classroom. So they wondered if Caden could come in and train his teachers one day. So it was a happy day for the mom just to hear something strength-based and positive about the student. But this is Caden's story really quickly to share about what it meant to him and just notice how he's training his teachers.
Oh boy, what happened there? Here we go.
And it pops up a line like this. Then you go to the part of the article that you want to read, click on it, and then expand it to how much you want it to read. It was cool because usually teachers are teaching me stuff, but I got to teach them how to do one thing, and it was amazing. She said sometime soon you can come in my class and teach all of them how to use it. I feel like I actually am something good at like teaching stuff and learning a whole bunch more about that.
I just want to point out, did you see, we started the meeting with building habits, building success, building strategy, building motivation. Do you see that in Caden? He went from, yeah, I love that. Thanks, Mark. He went from this, again, student who probably was so painful that when he was in the principal's office to really avoid probably some pretty painful experiences to, he was teaching his teachers. Think about how his confidence grew and think about he's redefining himself as a leader. And you can see he had his coat and his backpack on. So this doesn't take very long to train the students and or the teachers. Brenda, we have 5 minutes left, so I'll let you finish up.
Yeah, so here's your action plan for the day. So you can all sign up for a free trial of Co-Writer, Snap and Read, and get the PAR kit, the free version, the paper version, just by going to cowriter.com, snapandread.com. Make sure you're using the Learning Academy to help learn the programs. And a key thing that you did not know, I think Ruth mentioned it, trial Snap and Read when you get it with Overdrive. You have now free access to your New York libraries that everybody's using. That is really important to get that to the students' hands. And share with your administrators at your school to help make system change for all students. As you saw the programs, so these programs can be used by not only your IEP, your RTI, but your general ed students as well. And then contact me for a formal quote for your school site for a year subscription, because everything is listed on the Shop DOE. This is what the pricing is for UPAR, Snap and Read, Co-Writer for a school site license for all students, $708 per year to help all your students, not just individual. So call me, request a quote, and I'll be at the video room all day long. There's our link. I don't know if you want to copy that, Ruth, and put it into the chat.
Yeah, we'll do that again.
All right.
I don't have access to that, Brenda, so you'll have to put that, you can copy it and paste it in there. And on behalf of Brenda and myself, this was really fast, so it was fun, thank you. But it was really fun and I love your energy. I just love how you all started out the day being kind to each other and greeting each other. And so we're just so happy to be working with you. You have a great team in New York City with the CATS team and so many different support teams in your city. So thank you all, and we honor all of you. So my Zoom wave. So thank you all. Have a great rest of your conference.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye. Yay, Brenda, that was fun. Thank you, everyone. Oops, I had my video off to do my Zoom wave. Sorry. Thank you. Thanks, Catherine, and everybody else. You guys were awesome. So thank you, thank you.
And thank you.
All right.
Exit full screen.
Brenda, you're still showing your screen, girl. Brenda. There you go. I think those are just your DOE instructions on what to do, but.
It was actually my screen, I think. I was trying to get the final thing up, but I didn't, jumped into the wrong browser. Although I figured out how to figure out the other problem. So in between. You guys are great. Thank you so much for doing this today. It was awesome.
Good, good.
Hey, can we do all the CTLE from the hub, or do we have to use this link that you put in the chat?
I think you have to use the link from the chat, but I'm not 100% sure. I can check on that for you.
Okay, because there is a, it says CTLE in the hub, and it allows you to choose which session you went to, and then just, it looks like the same questions.
Okay, I did drop a CTLE link in there a little while ago, but
yeah, okay.
I can, if you scroll back, hang on, I'll put it back at the end there for you if that makes it easier. But I think it's just a general one.
Okay.
Hang on a second, let me get down.
I can see it.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.